Hi, readers of Path-1. Thank you so much for bearing with me over the last couple of days. We are only getting started, and this is a warm-up video. 11th and 12th May are all about warm-ups, and we kick off on 13th of May. So here are going to be some set of insights that will help you, uh, get your paths right. So if you have not seen the entire 1 hour video, this quickly will help you understand it. So all of you are into Path-1. You have opted into it. So thank you very much for building that habit. Part 2 is predominantly going to be a natural progression. Once you have built a routine slash habit, you need to deepen it. And how do you deepen it is by continuously reading books in the environment that you're in, which is the ReadARs Club 2.0. So how does Path-1 begin? So let me just quickly share my screen and allow you to soak it in a quick manner. Once again, Path-1 has three subdivisions into it of around 3 weeks. Part 1 of the Path-1, tongue twister, routine has to be built in first. So I'm going to share curated high quality articles um, where your intention should not be that, do I want to read this article or not? You have to go past this feeling and you just read it in the time slot, in that part of the day that suits you the best. Just to give an insight, I found recording this video very, very challenging when I was trying to make this at night when my attention would be diverted, I would be tired. Now I found a breakthrough moment in itself that I'm recording this at 6:30 and 7 in the morning. So I've already started recording from 6:30 in the morning for other videos, and I've come to this at 7 in the morning. So uh, choose your time slot that works the best for you. This is a continuous trial and error game, but you need to start working on that and start with just the routine that is getting built with articles. You might not like reading it, you might love reading it. That's neither if it is a point. You have to focus on the routine building. And don't forget, at this point of time, many of us are facing inertia. A body at rest will continue to remain at rest. Our mind and brain has not been continuously exposed to reading every day. So it will resist. So we have to go past that resistance gently and not in a hard way, which is why I avoid books in part 1. I just use articles. If you missed one day's article previously, skip it. Missing one day is okay. Let not that become a habit. So if you missed one day previously, forget that, come to the next day's article. Part 2, that is somewhere after 3 weeks, we'll start reading a common book. All of us in one WhatsApp group that we are in, Path-1A or Path-1B, we are all going to read one common book. It will be Learn Like a Pro. Yeah, it is going to reinforce why reading is important and how learning can happen with reinforcement. You're also going to learn something very crucial, which is called Ebbinghaus forgetting curve. But again, that's not the point either. You're going to learn how to be a pro at learning, but intention would be to deepen that routine first. Let's get set into that routine. Just a caveat, I'll guide you through the routine creation process in these first 3 weeks of part 1. Perhaps I'll set up a session. All of us will join in. Let's come on to that. Part 2, you're just going to strengthen that routine. Try it out, so that it becomes, part of your daily objective. I need to read at this point of time. If you fail back and that made slot, there is a backup slot as well. So main slot, backup slot. Part 3, we'll go further. So one of the books I know I want to bring in is Rework, Make Epic Funny. So they're easy to read books, okay? They're not very challenging. And you might think, hey, why are you making me read easy reads? I need something challenging, yeah. Later. First, routine has to be built, then the routine has to be strengthened, and then the routine has to be deepened for you to be having that strength to go and conquer the challenging books on your own. So there's no point of going too fast, too early. So again, as I said, topic would be productivity, time management. So if someone wants to read rework out of these 25 readers in one path, I'll subdivide it. So we'll come on to part 3. As I said, it's more of a science that I need to work upon. Part 2 is for other side folks. So let that be. You will eventually get into part 2. Okay. If you stay here for long enough, you are going to, conquer and go beyond part 2 as well. Part one, just to reiterate, every morning I'm going to share an article. For people who are based out of Australia and Singapore and Japan, I'm going to see what can I do for all of you. You have the next 24 hours to read at your preferred time slot. So use your 24 hours that everyone gets each day in their balance and dispense it for reading it. Okay. Try to read on desktop if you are a desktop reader. Don't try to read on the phone itself because we are so used to reading on a phone. But if you feel like, reading on a phone is going to be help you, you might be commuting and then you're trying to read. So be it. Okay. Choose your what works best for you. If you want to read on desktop, you simply have WhatsApp web on your laptop, and then you can just have the same link there. Each article will have an around 5 to 10 or 15 minutes at max. Some article will be a 10-minute length, some article could be 20-minute length. Again, it's all about sticking to it. And after reading, you can respond to an optional question. Not everyone has to respond. Only if you want to share, do that. But one pro tip there, if you share, you would have processed what you read. And processing what you have read is very, very crucial. So that question is being asked for that. I might ask you to just share one childhood story as well. So what will that article do? Get processed in your head, induce nostalgia, and let you share something from your childhood which others might also connect upon. So here as a group of very like 20, 25 strangers, you might start building some connections and, bonds there, aka networking, connections. So respond, it's an optional question. It's not a mandatory one. And when someone else shares, you might also gain from their insight. So more than the author, you might learn from fellow readers here. And that's the point. And entirely, we have to work on the routine and assess what is distracting us, what is causing us annoyances, challenges. Share this across on the group so that I can mend it for you. So let's not overdo. Part 2 and 3 of Pathway 1, instead of the articles, I will replace with books. One of the book would be Learn Like a Pro. Then we'll go into a little specialization, say Make Epic Money, Rework, and maybe a book on productivity, which is easy to read. Why easy to read books? So that you don't run into a dead end or a bigger mountain to climb so early. You might be a very good reader, but I'm going to change the way you are going to read in this entire journey of Path 1. We will have some workshops, how to read better, faster, smarter. That is one of my flagship sessions that I do. I don't do it publicly, but within the umbrella of the Readers Club, I run them. So you are going to learn the STAR framework or reading. You're going to learn start of the book and then the book rituals. You never start from the first page. You always start from the last page. Believe it or not. So if that makes you curious, you'll find it out eventually. How do you make crisp and effective notes? So that is where I mentioned that is my also biggest challenge, and I'm going to address it for myself and for all of you in the process. And different techniques of reading. Let's see what are all you learned in this process. But by the end of this part 3, we will be somewhere in July, and we might have read 2 or 3 books by then. Who knows? But again, intention is not the number of books, not the number of articles, but and first and foremost, routine that got built. So that is your entire objective in Path 1. Build that routine. And that is where I'm going to stop this point here. I want to share something else, which is small bit of text setups. Okay. So let me just stop sharing from my main screen and start sharing from my secondary screen. Now, let's go to WhatsApp. Yeah, I'm my own boss. I have my personal number saved as boss. So yeah, pin the groups. Okay. How do you pin the groups? You are in pathway 1. Just pin it here. Okay. For me, it's saying you can only pin 3 chats. So let me just unpin this. But whichever group you are on, pin it. All right. Now, secondly, on WhatsApp, a lot of people can, message you and you don't need them. So archive them or silent them. Archive chat. So third, try to keep these groups on unmute mode so that any notification can become a nudge for you to get back into reading. Okay. So, but again, if you want to keep it on mute, again, it's your responsibility. You will get what you give into it. Okay. If you're worried that I might be falling asleep and then, might must get someone calling in, here's a pro tip. You can leave your groups on unmuted mode, but if you see many of the chats, many of the groups of mine are in the archived mode. This is my WhatsApp business. So my personal WhatsApp will have everything on mute here. So if you are worried about it, just disconnect your WhatsApp. Okay. I think I'm not sure if it is connected. Let me just wait for it to get connected. So always you can disconnect your internet. Okay, when you're falling asleep, do this as a religious process. Yeah, it's now back. So second thing, get your calendar connected. Okay. The email address that you have provided, get your calendar connected. At this point of time, my own calendar is looking empty. It is going to get filled in as I rework this along with all of you. So why it need you, so the email address that you provided to me on the participant form, you are going to get meeting invites onto it directly. So you might I'll also share the link here, but the preference will be that I can automatically upload that list that you provided with your all of your details, and you automatically get the invite. But you go and check your inbox. You might, Google has now some new policies. So first time emails from mine or Luma could get into a spam folder or might ask you to verify it. So check that out. You will The entire intention of running by calendar is so that you could be nudged with technology. So let's use technology for a benefit, not get enslaved by technology. And calendar is one very, very important way. And I'm going to show you how to do that in the subsequent video, tech setup part 2. So this is just a big opening bit on tech setup. So WhatsApp, pin the group. Okay, don't archive it. If you have archived it, it's like out of sight, and anything out of sight is out of your mind. So any other bad group or unused group that you have, just go and archive it. I have many groups on archives. You can see here. Let me just don't not scroll slow, but yeah, I have many groups on archive. So if you've not been into a group a long while, so archive it or just exit it. So let's declutter ourselves. Let me just stop sharing my screen there. And that's my Android phone I use just for the reading habits thing. So which is why you might see my messages will come in intermittent basis, but they will come. So just a bit of an opener. Apologies, took a little bit time, but I needed to make it in my best moment or best energies, and that is where I had was a breakthrough moment. I was here onwards start recording a video when I have to early in the morning, so that that energy that I have gets translated into what I want to say and what you are hearing. That's it for now. Let's get going. This is the first video. Let me just share the next steps over an article. So after this, I'm going to start writing an article for all of you to, take the next steps on. But let's get this journey started. PS, our first book is going to be Learn Like a Pro. Just wait for a 3 days. Let's get started with part 1. And then I'll share with you a video, which is how to buy a original book on Amazon, how to avoid getting a first copy / pirated books on Amazon. So that's a video I'm going to share with all of you. So once you've watched that video, only then order book so that you get a legit copy of it. So we're going to read Learn Like a Pro collectively after first 2 3 weeks. Okay. So yeah, you can order it now, but just watch that video as well. So you order from the right seller. Last but not least, if you're still watching this, just give this my YouTube account of mine follow and like, so that I'm more encouraged to make more such videos and put it on perhaps public mode as well. I've been using YouTube as in unlisted mode for a decade now. I need to get past that inhibition and now share more videos in public. So just give me that small dopamine kick to do so. Follow that, and I'll meet you next on an interaction over a video or daily interaction through the group. Let's get this going.